Hello, Scott Sylvan Bell coming to you live from Oahu. It is August 30th, 2015, 7:33 in the morning. Figured we'd come out here and talk to you about sales training. You know, it's kind of a good day. There's a hurricane. There's not one, there's two hurricanes that are like off the coast, and I figure if I waited I wouldn't be able to film some videos because it'd be 100 miles an hour out here. Now, one of the things that'll help you out as a salesperson, or I should ask you this question, is how can you be better at what you do when you don't understand a concept? How can you be better at what you do when you don't understand a concept? And one of the things that I have found that really helps out is if you take your idea and figure out how you would teach it. So I've been working with unique selling propositions. So a USP, they were started by Rosser Reeves, and he worked for a company called Ted Bates and Company, and in 1961 he put out a book called Reality in Advertising. And it was a really hard book to get up until about last month, and they started reprinting it. And you know, for a while I was really having a challenge of putting USPs together. So I figured, you know what, here's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna figure out how would I teach this process? How would I teach you to write a USP? How would I teach you to go about it? And so one of the things that it does is I'm sharing with you one of my struggles that I was having, and one of the ways that I got around it. So one of the best things that you could do is figure out how you would teach it. So you create a lesson plan, and you have to have about 70% of knowledge for this to work out, because if you have 10% of knowledge, you're gonna fall flat on your face. Grab a couple of people and teach them the concepts, and then what they're gonna do is they're gonna ask you some questions, and it's gonna force you to figure out what's going on. Now, you may have to have like two parts to this, where you start the lesson and you start the class, and then you go, okay, you know what? After an hour, we're gonna pause here, and then we're gonna move forward, and we're gonna go to the next lesson. And so you might have to do it in two parts, but what it does for you is it helps you understand what's going on. Now, one of the best things that you could do in a struggle is figure out how you would teach the idea, the process of what is going on. So when I first started doing sales training, one of the tough things for me was to figure out how to write a lesson plan, because I had never done it. I mean, I had watched people do it and I had made a lot of mistakes, but now today writing a lesson plan takes me a couple of minutes. I know what I'm gonna do. But I put a class on writing lesson plans, and then what it really did was help me figure out how to write a lesson plan, okay? So here's what you should do. Grab a piece of paper and a pen, figure out what you're struggling with, and then what you could teach with it. You have about 70% of knowledge. That you're missing a little bit, but you have 70%. And if you don't have 70%, then what you gotta do is you gotta find some books. You know, in 2015, moving into 2016, there's pretty much a podcast on everything. There's pretty much a YouTube video for everything. So you might have to do some research. If you're at 50% knowledge, how do you get to 70? How do you get to 75? What are you gonna do to fill in that gap to get that difference of what's going on, okay? So figure out what you could do to teach the idea, the concept, and then what that's gonna do is it's gonna make you better at what you do. So if you're struggling with an idea or concept, figure out a way to teach it. Now, if you could do a small favor for me in the box down below, leave a comment, question, or story, that'd be fantastic. To the right or to the left, there is a subscribe button. Come on, subscribe. And then send it out to all your friends via StumbleUpon, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn. Scott Sylvan Bell, only Scott Bell Seminole, coming to you live from Oahu. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Aloha.